Unlike most Amazon builds that typically focus around a spear-based playstyle, this build focuses heavily around spell casting, most importantly, chaos damage over time, as well as applying shock for more damage and having our minions do the extra heavy lifting when it comes to clearing adds and boss damage. So, if this all sounds good to you, then be sure to stay tuned for more. Let's get started. So before we begin, just a quick disclaimer that this build is still a work in progress, as I'm trying to really curate a specific power fantasy, and so don't be surprised if you see a lack of gems in some slots. This is just a part 1 of the series, so look forward to a part 2 in the very near future for this build. Also, I just wanted to put this out there because I want others to feel inspired and not feel like they always have to use a spear with the Amazon build to make it work. So that being said, let's jump in. First off, we have Skeletal Warrior. Skeletal Warrior is rocking with Brutality as well as Meat Shield. The reason why I've rocked with this is just because I want the warrior to not do as much damage. I want it to just be on the field for much longer, to be more of a tank, to be more of a distraction, and therefore allowing me to move around more fluidly without having to worry too much about my health. Next up, we have the Skeletal Sniper, and we have Elemental Army as well as Crazed Minions. Elemental Army just helps to bolster the elemental resistances, therefore allowing it to be a little bit more tanky and survive for much longer on the field. And then Crazed Minions, this just allows you to do more damage if you are revived. Next, we have Dark Effigy. I have Ancestral Urgency, Overabundance, and Persistence. Urgency allows you to place totems down a lot faster, which is really good, as well as Overabundance allowing us to place down more than one, and Persistence giving you that longer duration. So in full, this basically gives us longer time on the field, doing more damage because of the additional totem, and we place them down a lot faster, meaning damage is more concise and consistent. Storm Mage, this plays into our shock damage. We have Conduction as well as minion instability. In Contagion, we have Acrimony. And Acrimony states that if enemies affected by damage over time from supported skills which was not caused by a damaging ailment have reduced life regen rate. Only the strongest instance of this debuff will apply. So this is really good for situations where you're running into tougher enemies like rares and maybe a unique along the way. This is really good because it prevents them from regenerating life. Next, you have Chaotic Freeze, which plays into the ad clearing part of the build, and this states that enemies taking damage over time from debuffs caused by supported skills will suffer freeze buildup from chaos damage hits from any source. So because we have Contagion, Essence Drain, Dark Effigy, this is going to ensure that enemies will remain frozen, as well as taking more damage from shock and chaos damage over time. Next, we have Essence Drain. In Essence Drain, we have Arcane Tempo, Lacerate, and Chaos Mastery. Now, Arcane Tempo, pretty straightforward. Faster cast speed just means more DPS over time. And then Lacerate, this is just an additional bonus for damage, for bleeding. And then Chaos Mastery, it's always nice to have an additional bonus to your level for skills. Then Cleric, we are rocking with Death March, and this states that supported minions will restore life to nearby allied minions on death, as well as removing ailments from those minions. So again, this just ensures that our minions will stay alive, and therefore just remain on the battlefield for much longer. And next up, we have Lightning Warp, another one of my favorite gems to really rock with. It's really nice to have for clearing mobs. And we have Life Drain and Soul Drain. Life Drain is really great because it helps you to recover life every time you clear adds, as well as Soul Drain giving you more mana. Ball Lightning kind of plays into Lightning Warp, since you can use Ball Lightning not only on its own for damage, but also you can use it to teleport from place to place, giving you a little bit more maneuverability and escape value if you're in trouble. And we have Considered Casting. This states that supported skills or supports spell skills that hit enemies and you cast yourself, boosting damage at the cost of cast speed. So it's a little bit slower in terms of the cast speed, but it works well anyway, since we have the Lightning Warp to work in tandem with it, therefore giving it a nice healthy balance. Next up, we have Skeletal Brute, and we are rocking Heft, which increases the maximum physical damage of their hits. And this is good because this allows for us to not only stun enemy targets, but do more damage as well over time. And then lastly, we have Frost Bomb. And Frost Bomb, we have Spell Echo as well as Elemental Focus. Spell Echo, it really helps in terms of applying more damage since it doubles the effect of the skill, which is pretty cool. And then Elemental Focus, we basically do more elemental damage, so we do more cold damage, but we don't do anything like chill or any other ailments. And that's about it. We're going to be adding more over time. As I said, this is a build in progress, but I wanted to give you a quick glimpse of what to expect. And so therefore, look forward to a part 2. If you are enjoying thus far the video, be sure as always to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get into the next section. So as this is a introductory video to the build, the nodes on the passive skill tree are still being curated and refined. So once again, look forward to a part 2 of this video in the near future. For now, I wanted to focus heavily on the main core aspect, which was the ascendancy and why I've chosen these specific nodes. So I've opted for Predatory Instinct as well as In for the Kill. This played well into the power fantasy I had in my mind about a warrior princess whose village was destroyed in the Amazon by an enemy faction. And so her objective now is to seek out revenge by utilizing chaos infused damage in her blood to destroy enemies on the fly. So Predatory Instinct reveals weaknesses against rare and unique enemies, and it does 50% more damage against enemies with an open weakness. Next, we have In for the Kill, which just gives us both increased movement speed and skill speed while an enemy with an open weakness is in our presence. As for the rest of the nodes on the tree, as I mentioned earlier, this is still a work in progress, but we focus heavily on chaos damage, minion damage, as well as totem speed and damage over time. We will be adding in things like lightning damage and shock duration, but for now, those three are the most important as they play heavily into that power fantasy most. That being said, we're going to move into the weapons and items that I've used and what things to look out for specifically. So for this particular build, I've opted for 3 main sources, that being the Wicked Quill Withered Wand, the Dark Defiler Rattling Scepter, as well as the Wake of Destruction Secured Leggings. Now these 3 work really well together, as the Wicked Quill provides us with a nice additional spell damage, some resistance to chaos, and the chance to inflict withered. And the Rattling Scepter is great because it gives us additional damage per undead minion. That nice juicy 5% is always good. It also gives us some additional mana and regenerate for mana. And then our Secured Leggings, the Wake of Destruction, this gives us more movement speed, as well as increased armor and shield, lightning damage, and most importantly, it gives us shocked ground. So this means that as we're running around our target, we're applying shock pretty easily, and therefore giving us a chance to do more damage. And this plays into everything else with our scepter, our minions, so on and so forth. Everything else is a bonus pertaining to resistances, so I try to aim for every item to have a resistance, whether it be fire, cold, chaos. So in this case, the belt has fire and cold, our glove has lightning resistance, our rings have lightning, our topaz ring has lightning and fire, or rather cold, sorry, and our amulet gives us more spirit, which plays into our minions rather. And we also have some armor, evasion rating, some max life is always nice, some crit hit is always good, and more cast speed. Cast speed is always important as well, so look out for that. I have 20% here on this unset ring and 19% here on the amulet. But most importantly, look out for any resistances, as that's going to help you sustain for long periods of time. This particular circlet has cold, fire, and lightning resistance. And then more intelligence is always good, because the higher intelligence, just the more mana you'll have, which just means more consistency in terms of your damage output. So all that being said, that's pretty much the gist of what this build provides. Again, we're going to be doing a part 2 of this video, so look forward to it once I've completed it. And if you enjoy this quick breakdown of this guide, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Look forward to streams for Path of Exile 2. Follow me there at twitch.tv/Nufrontier_. And as always, new warriors, stay strong, keep fighting, and may the force be with you all, always. See you next time on the next video. Have a good one. Take care.